What do you make of it, Brad? Sorry.
Just been waiting very patiently.
Sorry.
Brad, firstly, what a game for fans to watch. It felt like at a lot of different times it was really in either side's hand. What did you make of the pressure moments and how your team responded to those?
Yeah, I think it's a good summary to start with. I thought it was a game of momentum swings. Both teams had periods of momentum. We had it early in the first quarter. Gold Coast rested that back in the second quarter. And there was an arm wrestle in the second half, and we conceded a couple of centre bounce goals, which were crucial, I thought, in the last quarter. But ultimately, the Gold Coast kicked 14 goals 7, and we missed a lot. So it was a tight game statistically. But often when you lead the inside 50s and your scoring efficiency is higher than the opposition, you win those two things, you think most of the time you win the game. But we missed some shots, but that AFL footy is a game of mistakes. You're not going to execute perfectly every time, and what we try and focus on is setting a foundation and a platform to give ourselves the best chance of winning games. And I thought for the large part tonight we did that. But to the Gold Coast credit, they were able to execute in the moments that mattered, and we weren't able to do that. But I thought our effort around the contest to give ourselves a chance was really positive.
You talk about the effort. It looked like, despite the result, there was a lot of fight from your side. What did you take away from the mentality of the side?
Yeah, I just think that we're building a consistent style that'll hold up against good opposition and will give us the best chance of competing against the best teams on a regular basis. And so that's pleasing, but it's still very disappointing and frustrating not to be able to give all the effort, the intent, particularly around the contest, not to be able to finish off. But if that's a baseline level of effort for us, then we've got something to build on.
Perhaps this is a different way of asking the same question, Brad, but do you think this is a mentally tougher and more resilient version of your side?
Oh, there's no doubt about that, because you build that over time. Personnel's changed a little bit with a few inclusions and a few really positive inclusions, but the foundation of our team similar to last year, and pretty much across the board everyone's improved, and certainly the cohesion amongst the group has improved a lot too. So we base our game on effort and intent, because that's what really matters, and we're delivering that. So you're frustrated that you don't come away with the result, and the players are very, very disappointed. But we certainly don't lose any heart out of that.
Was the execution in front of goal the main concern, or was there any other areas like delivery inside or the odd centre bounce? It sounds like there's not too much to nitpick with.
Yeah, we scored 53% of the time we went inside 50, so that's a pretty good number. We defended, reasonably well. Gold Coast had 21 scoring shots, but kicked 14-7, so credit to them. Two centre bounce goals late, which probably stand out because they're in the last quarter. But and then even late we obviously got within 5 points, and some crucial moments, which people tend to highlight in close games late, which for a variety of reasons didn't go our way. So, but I thought that was a bit of a tale of the night. Regardless of which way the result went, it was a great contest, and whichever team prevailed, deserved to win.
What did you make of the 2-0 50 at the end there?
Don't know. I think Jayden just threw it to the player he thought it was whose free kick he thought it was. So, but again, umpiring is really hard, because there's people say use common sense, but then they also want the umpires to umpire to the letter of the law. So I don't get too concerned about that. That's rubber the green stuff. Deliberate out of bounds from going forward, rubber the green, can probably go either way. We just probably need to educate our players. I think if you kick the ball off the ground, you lose your. The umpires tend to pay deliberate out of bounds, so I just got to clarify that so that I can let our players know that, because they looked a bit bewildered at a couple of those deliberates. And but again, umpiring I thought was this round they had a really big challenge in that there were some changes, and I think the umpires are in an incredibly difficult position. I think they're doing a good job, and I think players adapt really quickly to it as well. So that'll get better, and players will have a better understanding of how things like holding the ball and those decisions are going forward. But I'm only answering your question about Jayden Laverty's 50-metre penalty. I didn't think the umpiring had any bearing on the game tonight. I thought they did a good job.
Brad, based on what you saw tonight, do you think Gold Coast are true finals contenders?
Yeah, but with 14 others. That's not being disparaging to the Gold Coast. That's just a reflection of how tight the competition is. Someone alerted me to the result in Alice Springs today. I mean, it's just, and that might sound like a contradiction. It's really tight, and then you have a big blowout margin. But what that says to me is that if you're a little bit off, you can get exposed if the opposition's really on. So there's so much water to go under the bridge in this season, and we're just really focused on continually taking steps forward, and I didn't think tonight was a step back.
Brad, Zach Reid got hurt in the twos. Do you have any update on the severity of his injury?
No, unfortunately not. I've been made aware of it might be a pectoral injury, but I haven't even spoken to any of our medical staff at the moment. But if that is right, that Reedy he's looked fantastic at training and in the VFL, and he just can't take a trick. But clearly doesn't sound like it's related to his previous injury. So he's just incredibly unlucky. But he is, for a start, he's a great person. We think he's a player of enormous potential, and so we'll just persist with him as long as it takes, and I know he will too.
Any injuries from tonight, Brad?
Not that I can confirm. I mean, we had to take Langford off in pretty much, I don't know, for the large part of the last quarter. So we subbed him for Elijah Sardis. But whether it sounds like a hip pointer, so a cork on his hip, but it's difficult to clarify that at the moment. So it doesn't sound too serious, but it was a question of function, and he couldn't function, so we made that call.
So was Goldie essentially rested, or was there?
No, not rested. I mean, he'll be listed out injured. He hurt his ankle in the first quarter last week. We expected that ankle to turn around pretty quickly, and it did turn around pretty quickly. And look, could he have played? Yeah, at an absolute pinch. But that it becomes a decision ultimately for me that Goldie could get out there, but his ankle would be sore. And we've had a policy all year that we want our players to be very close to 100% to play. And when you make the decision, you've got Nick Bryan, who is an AFL ruckman, dominant in the VFL, has been only kept out of the side from Goldstein's form. On balance, it was a late decision to go with Bryan ahead of Goldstein.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Brad.